Let's do it.
Yeah.
Tell you what, I'm going to reposition my camera so it looks like,
right.
so it looks a little bit more realistic.
Arizona-y?
Because it looks kind of weird if I'm.
It looks like you're in Arizona.
What's that? Yeah, I'm in Arizona, man. Been here for how long have we been here? Almost 3 weeks. There we go.
All right, turn off that audio. I can hear a record or recording in the background.
Oh,
this is what happens when you have Gen X people.
Tell you what I'll do is I'll turn down the. Oh, I know what it is. I know what it is. It's the fucking. It's the TV over there. Hold on. Hang on a second.
I love my job.
Actually, I don't know that I'm going to be able to. Well, you know what? I'm going to have to. Yeah,
good Lord.
Where it is. But yeah, man, I've been just a little bit under the weather for the last couple of days, and Dev and I were supposed to fly back to Philly on Monday, and so I need to go get a COVID test, make sure I'm not corona positive here.
Donovan, come in and come out. Like there's some kind of feedback loop going on.
All right.
Donovan, come in and come out. Like there's some kind of feedback loop going on. All right. Boy, ain't you right, Roy. Maybe I'm the one with it. All right, hang on. I'm going to leave and come back in. All right, hopefully that reset things. This is what happened. All the thousands of dollars of workmen. Nope. Fuck. It's me. What the fuck? Oh, here it is. There it is. I think I got it now. Oh, man. Two old boomers trying to get a show on the air. Juan the Aztec Patriarch. Morning, dude bros. Dude bro migos. Yes, thank you. Thank you. It's good to see you guys here. Oh, I haven't had my morning poo yet. That's I've had 2 cups of coffee, no morning poo. Usually that's the immediate thing you do in the morning. When you will know you have achieved old manhood when you have your early morning poo. When you wake up, it's like, I got to poo. Have yourself a cup of coffee. Wake up before 7 a.m. I'm like, yeah. I don't know what happened. I don't know where Donovan is. I'll check his Philadelphia black man ass. Where'd he go? Let's see. I wonder what he's doing. Did he get killed? What happened to Donovan? Oh, there you are. You're back. There. Yeah. No, I got it figured out. I had something else running on in the background. Are you in Arizona or is that just your backdrop?
No, I'm in Arizona.
Oh, cool. What part of Phoenix, I presume?
Phoenix. Yeah, Phoenix, man. And it's interesting, dude. An Uber driver, real smart kid. I loved his energy. We became friends, and we friggin' like 2 days later went out to Sedona and
really
trails. Yeah, I was like, dude, I got to get a hold of Aaron to come out here. Dude, Sedona is incredible, man.
Oh yeah, no, Sedona's very pretty. Did you actually hike or did you?
Why have I never known about this place, dude?
Dude, because our parents, no offense to our parents, nobody told us. Have you been to Moab yet?
No, not yet. I remember you telling me about that a long time ago.
There's so much to explore in this country. And the next time you and Devin, your girlfriend.
Yeah.
If you guys drive across the country, first stop, visit me over in South Dakota.
Of course.
And so we have that. But yeah, I'll give you a roadmap, man.
Okay,
There's
yeah,
so much
definitely,
cool
dude.
stuff.
We
Yeah.
plan on doing something for sure. Like when the conference and everything is over, I'm actually thinking about going to heading over to Sedona. And then that was the other city that we were thinking about visiting was Moab. Because remember, you told us about that about a year and a half ago.
Yeah, well, it's a day's drive from Sedona. Well, half a day's drive, but you get to go. Remember, it's in many movie scenes that there's like those cliffs to just shoot straight out of the desert, like Wile E. Coyote. All right, that's called Monument Valley. It's in the Navajo Indian Reservation on North Arizona, South Utah, and you're going to go through that. To get to Moab from Sedona.
Valley from Sedona.
Monument Valley, yeah. And it's that what's the word? Not epic. Iconic.
It's about 3.5 hour drive.
Yeah. So you'd make it to Moab and Blanding. There's a lot of nice little towns on the way up there. But man, Moab is the place to be. And dude, I would go now before May ends, because then the kids get out of school and then hotel prices go up.
And it gets a little, and now here's one thing that I learned that I didn't know is that people go to Sedona to get away from the heat in the summertime. I was like, okay, I thought it would be 148 degrees out here, but apparently it stays cool out there.
You go up. Yep. Tucson is the same way. Tucson, I think, is 2,000 feet higher than Phoenix. And so people, and there should be a King Mountain on the north side of Phoenix. A lot of people go up into the mountain there. But then have you been to Jerome?
No, not yet.
Okay, how long are you going to be in Phoenix?
We'll be here till the end of May.
Okay, dude, you guys have got to go to Jerome. Book yourself a hotel. At the old insane asylum. There's a basically Jerome is an old mining town.
I think we saw signs on the way to Sedona.
Right. Yep. Jerome, so Jerome is, I would say, cooler than Sedona. It's not as pretty. Sedona is very gorgeous with all the rock formations.
Beautiful, dude. Yeah. I'll send you some pictures. It was incredible.
Well, I've been there. I know what it looks like. Yeah.
Okay.
But go to Jerome, book a night at the Insane Asylum Hotel. Okay. And then just have a day of, there's little coffee shops and artisan art places and things like that.
Dude, I'm doing this right now.
You'll enjoy it.
I swear to God, Aaron, we're driving out there and I was like, oh my God, look, I couldn't believe it. I was like, it's just like it looks like on TV, man. It was crazy.
Have you ever seen the movie Midnight Run?
No, I haven't. My dad has seen it 100 times.
Oh God, no, your dad's right, because it's probably my second or third favorite movie, but a lot of that is filmed in Sedona in Arizona. And you get a real appreciation for the West. But yeah, when you and I were growing up, you were in Philadelphia, I was in Milwaukee.
Yeah.
And our view of, like, tell me if I'm wrong about this, but when you thought about the Southwest, the American Southwest, you thought it was like the Sahara Desert with sand and there was nothing there. Right. Cactuses. And then you get to Arizona, you're like, this is gorgeous. There's mountains. Dude. There's things going on.
I couldn't stop taking pictures, man. It's the most incredible thing I've ever seen, man.
Have you been to Miami, Arizona?
No, I didn't know there was a Miami. I knew there was a Miami, Florida, and a Miami, Ohio. I didn't know there was a Miami, Arizona.
There's a Miami. Let me tell you this. Okay, so what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to go to the Salt Canyon. Okay, so this would be a day road trip. You're going to go through a town called Miami, Arizona. It's an old, not abandoned. It's a copper mine. And what's happened is because of technology, they don't need as many people. So won't look like an abandoned town, but the mine is actually quite active. But you go to this old little mining town. There's little bars, true Western, but it's up in the mountains. I've been there in like April, like now, and there's snow. And you would never, because you're that high up. You wouldn't think about it. And then you get to the other side.
Elevation. What is the elevation?
What's Miami? Probably like 8,000, I'd imagine, or 6.
Oh my God, dude, 7,600 feet above sea level. Wow.
Yeah.
That is insanity, dude.
Yeah. And it's a beautiful drive up there, switchbacks and everything. And then you get to the other side and you go to another Indian reservation. But you go to the Salt Canyon.
Okay.
And that's a very pretty drive. You go past a town called Globe, Arizona, and then you go into the reservation.
I'm gonna tell you what, dude. I am like, see, Dev and I, we plan to move out to Reno right around the end of the summer, early fall. And I mean, listen, man, like all systems are go, but I'm telling you what, man, being out here, like I've never been to Arizona. I mean, I've flown through Phoenix, but dude, the scenery and just all of the history, like this is really and truly like the embodiment of the West Coast.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, dude, I could see myself living out here. And Deb's like, you better not be thinking about moving again.
Well, wait, what's wrong with now? Nevada has no state income taxes, and Arizona has a little.
Neither does Arizona.
Yeah, but there's nothing wrong with living in Phoenix. Now, I'd recommend you spend a July in Phoenix before you commit to that.
Oh, dude, everybody tells me that. Dude, you should spend a summer in Phoenix.
Yeah, but no, Arizona is a huge state. There's other places like Payson. Have you been to Flagstaff?
No, I haven't, but we passed signs to Flagstaff.
Yeah, there's other towns that are higher up in elevation are nowhere near as hot as, because Phoenix is basically, it's like Death Valley. You basically go down off the cliff, and then so it will get very hot in Phoenix. But there are other towns. Have you guys been to Bisbee?
No.
Do you got a car?
Oh yeah, of course.
Okay, dude, let me give you. Okay, you're gonna do Miami, all right? You gotta do Miami, all right. You gotta do Bisbee. On your way to Bisbee, you're going to stop at Tombstone, Arizona, where the movie and the history and everything.
Oh, yes, right.
That's and just so you know, Tombstone is overrated. You get there, like,
is it?
Yeah. It's not like, well, the movies make it look way more than it is or was. But yeah, stop at Tombstone on your way to Bisbee. Bisbee's much more interesting. And then what else?
Dude, I'm opening up 100 web browsers because I just can't believe. I just can't believe that it's so beautiful out here. I just could not believe it. I couldn't believe it, man.
Have you been to, you should do Sedona, Jerome. You go over the mountain to
Miami. Yep.
Yeah, no, that Jerome's on the north side of Phoenix. Miami's to the east. I'm trying to remember the other town. It's like a sizable town. Oh, for Christ's sake. I'll look it up myself.
Here, I'll look it up. Sedona, Jerome, Arizona.
Jerome,
dude, it was absolutely incredible, man. I just like, dude, I've got pictures in my phone. I'm like, I can't believe I've never been here before. I lived in Vegas for almost 8 years, and
but you never left the strip.
Never left the strip. Well, every once in a while, Henderson. Then I was seeing a girl up in Indian Springs. But yeah, man, like, dude, I had my priorities were all
25-year-old.
Oh, Dev is in the chat. If you want to mod Dev, she actually has your affiliate link for the scene.
How do I mod Dev?
Oh, I didn't know we were live, dude.
We're live. Yeah. We're going live.
I didn't know we were live. I thought we were just sitting there having a conversation.
I don't buy. I just like, look, we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it.
All right, cool. I mean, I'm used to introduction, me, Mr. Organizations, but I had no idea we were live. I thought this was just a conversation.
It says put her in time. Oh, I'm doing this through God darn it. StreamYard. Yeah, I can't do it. We won't worry. It complicates my old man brain. Prescott. Have you been to Prescott?
No, I've not. No.
Okay, you got to go to Prescott. So it's I'd recommend going at night because they light up it's the county seat, so the county building's all lit up, and it's one of the few American towns I've been to. Like if you drive through an American town, there was either the railroad or the main highway went through, and the town built up on it, so it's very linear. There's a one main road. Prescott, I think there's like 2 or 3 main roads that come into town. So it's very square. So you have an actual downtown that isn't just along the line of the main road because there's several main roads. So it's like probably the most American looking town you're ever going to find.
Really? Oh, yeah. Americana, sort of.
Not even that. It's just the old architecture from the late 1800s with some modern buildings in there.
Oh yeah, I got you. I see right here. Oh yeah, it's got like one main strip.
No, but that's why I'm saying it doesn't have one main strip. It has like 4 main roads that go into it. So it's a very, there's a center. It's more concentrical as opposed to just a strip.
It does look like it really does look like America.
Yeah.
Old West America. This is incredible. Have you seen the Prescott Valley? I'm looking at the Prescott Valley. I'm like, oh my God.
Prescott Valley? No, hang on. They got this valley called the Grand Canyon. I don't know if you've ever heard of her.
Yeah, it escapes me. Dev actually surprised me when we were out in Vegas on Thanksgiving weekend. She booked a helicopter tour of the Grand Canyon. Dude, it is, I got to tell you, man, probably one of the coolest things I've ever done in my life. except for the first 10 minutes. So
Yeah.
we're strapped in, and Devin's like, all right, I paid extra so we can be in the front. We're like, yeah, we're gonna see all this stuff. So the guy's like, everybody's strapped in. We're like, yeah, we're strapped in. All of a sudden, we start going up in elevation, and I'm like, and dude, I've never ridden in a helicopter before, and I feel like these nails digging into my flesh. And Dev's holding on for dear life. I'm looking at him like, dude, I don't want to fall out of this. And Dev was like, no, I'm sorry. It's like, no, please continue. Don't let go. But the first 10, 15 minutes was a little bit nerve-wracking, but after you sort of settle down, dude, I've got all kinds of video of that. We land in the canyon, dude.
Landed in the canyon?
God. We landed, dude. Oh my God. We landed in the, I actually live streamed the last like 5 minutes of the trip. Like, dude, he took us all over the strip. Oh my God. It was incredible. It was about I think it was about an hour, maybe like a 45-minute to an hour helicopter ride out there. It is I don't know, dude. We've also been to Mount Mauna Kea in Hawaii. That was an amazing experience. But dude, the Grand Canyon, oh my God.
Where did it take off in Vegas, or where did it take off?
Right from McCarran. Right from McCarran. Yep.
McCarran Air, really? And they
right from McCarran.
Oh,
yep.
Okay. No, I think before you buy in Reno, maybe go putz around. There's not bad places in Arizona.
I think I'm gonna have to, man. I mean, I'm familiar with Reno. I can't live in Vegas. I just can't do that. But I'm telling you, man, Arizona is really starting to grow on me, man. I don't know, something about the desert. I just like the desert. Maybe it's because where I sort of came of age, so to speak, after after what I went through. But yeah, dude, I just like. It's incredible. The drive to Sedona, it was just, and then when we get there, I'm like, dude, I could really see myself living here. I need to get the hell out of here as soon as possible before I start making deposits and down payments and whatnot.
Right. Have you been to Cave Creek, North Side?
No.
Write that down. You got to go to Cave Creek. That's a suburb that, it was its own town at one time, and that's a little bit more touristy. But there's some authenticity there. Yeah, but if you go to Cave Creek, or Carefree.
Look at this.
Yeah. My best friend lives out there. And one of the things that I love the most about Arizona, or the desert in general, he's got a little hut, basically. And he's got the spread. And at night, now, during July, it sucks. But you're there at the perfect time for weather right now.
Yeah, May is a good month. Everybody keeps telling me you're here at the right time.
Yeah. And just those evenings and the sunsets, we just sit and chill the fuck out. It's just wonderful out there. So,
dude, this is incredible. Like, this is the sky. I don't know, man. The sky seems to be bigger. I don't know, man. I mean, don't get me wrong, man. The East Coast is all right. I've never really been fond of the East Coast, but it just, when the population goes up and the square mileage of the states go down, it's like everybody's on top of each other. But I remember that we were on our way to Sedona. I think it was like a sort of an incline, and you turn the corner and everything just opens up. It just looks larger.
Green Valley, yes, yeah. You know what it is?
I get used to this.
I'll tell you what it is, because you and I were from the eastern part of the country.
Yeah,
there's no trees.
No.
And if you think about the landscape, now, of course, it's not as mountainous in Pennsylvania or Wisconsin as it is over in Arizona, but trees block your view. So I keep telling people, I'm like, look, if you live on the east side of the Mississippi, you're missing out. You got to go west and just check it out at least, because there ain't no trees blocking your view. And then all of a sudden you're like, whoa, look at that. I mean, you could see literally for 30, 40, 50 miles, right?
Like, I don't know, man. Like, and I try to put myself in other people's shoes. Like, maybe there was someone who grew up in maybe a Sedona or Flagstaff or, Tucson, who visit the East Coast are like, oh my God, I'm never leaving. But I can't imagine that. Like, I can't imagine somebody being from Phoenix and falling in love with Boston. Unless they just absolutely hate you know what I mean? Like, listen, I'm sure that there are exceptions to the rule, but people, as far as I know, they don't start out west and end up on the East Coast unless it's for like a job. But if you have a choice, I think most people end up in Southern California, Northern Nevada, dude. I'm sure you've been through Northern California is some of the most picture. Oh my God, it's some of the most, dude, right up over Donner Pass. It's incredible, man. The West Coast, it's another world out here, man.
What I've found is it really boils down to whether or not you want a truly metropolitan lifestyle,
Yeah.
I'm sure a lot of young women want to go and live in New York or LA
Sure.
or whatever. And then they go out east and the guys want to go be Wall Street, or they want to have that downtown, which is nothing wrong with. Some of my fondest, the happiest I ever was in Chicago.
Oh,
during
really?
the summer. Yeah. 1998, 97. And I certainly can appreciate the living, but as you get older, you're going to go one of two ways. And this is why I predict our generation is going to do. You're either going to be a boomer and you go down to Florida because you're fat and you want to eat food at chain restaurants, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with it.
Right. What's wrong with that? No state tax. It's warm.
Yeah, you're from New York or Massachusetts or Pennsylvania or Jersey or whatever, and you're unaware of the other half of the country.
All of them.
Right, all of them. Right. Or you're like, hey, what's this Denver thing all about? What's this Salt Lake City? And then you go out, you're like, holy shit, look at this.
Like
and
all of this exists.
Yes.
Incredible, man.
It's
incredible. And see, Dev and I, we've never been. That's one place we definitely wanted to visit was Denver. Because Ivan Throne and his wife Lauren, they live out there, and dude, it's just sort of always been kind of sort of like an afterthought. But after the conference and everything, we'll have a little bit of time. I don't know, man. We might do like a West Coast swing, man. Oh my God.
Well, here, add to your list now. Denver, I'll warn you right now. There's not much about Denver. I mean, it's a big city. It's based on ceramics and beer.
Okay.
And a little bit of agriculture and finance. So it's just a big town. I'm trying to think, like, imagine you took Pittsburgh and put it right in the prairie before the mountains start.
Oh, wow.
So,
okay.
Yeah. So there's nothing exciting about Denver itself. It's big metropolitan. There's good cigar lounges, things like that. But if I were to do some, I would stop at Gateway, Colorado, Cortez, Colorado.
I've heard of Cortez.
Yeah. That's a cool town. And before you go there, hit me up because you gotta look at the old ancient Indian Pueblo dwellings.
Oh, okay. And I assume that's probably not in Pueblo, Colorado.
No, it's not in Pueblo, Colorado. Though they do have those dwellings out there as well. But the easiest way is called
incredible. Look at this.
Yeah. You don't want to go to Mesa Verde. Save yourself the $25 and don't go to Mesa Verde. You want to go to Canyon of the Ancients. But Cortez itself is this old Western town with a main drag, and you appreciate it very much.
You said Canyon of the Ancients?
Canyon of the Ancients. Right, yep. Comes right up, and it's free. You just park your car and you walk.
Oh my God. This is insane.
See?
This is crazy. I just don't know. I don't know, man. I think different people vibe with different areas. And I think my West Coast bias has a lot to do with the fact that most of my negative experiences, period, with life in general, happened back east. And then when I moved west, I find, the red pill and everything sort of transforms. And yeah, I had some trouble. I may or may not have been arrested a few times, but for the most part, I've had nothing but positive experiences out here. And so I think it's probably a mental thing, but I try to look at it objectively, like, okay, if I were from, San Diego, would I actually like living in Raleigh? No, of course I wouldn't want to live in freaking Raleigh if I was from San Diego or Oceanside. So I don't know, man. Either way you slice it, I always tell Dev this. I'm like, Dev's from Florida. She's from South Florida, and she doesn't really like Florida at all. And she spent most of her life here, there on the East Coast. And then when we come west, I remember when we first met, I was like, West Side till I die, blah, 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 blah. Dude, we've been to Reno twice, and she's like, dude, I love it here. I said, you see? I'm trying to tell you, man, throw up the dubs, gangster style, man. West Side.
Well, but I got a question then. Are you really West Side unless you're on the coast? Because don't you more or less have to be in California? Forget Portland and Seattle. That's bullshit.
Yeah,
that's a bunch of
trees,
Starbucks drinking,
lumber,
pansy white people, frankly.
Yes.
But like, if you say West Side, that's not Phoenix. That's not Yuma. That's not Vegas. That's got to be more
Albuquerque,
Yeah, Albuquerque. Yeah, no, that's got to be more or less like LA, San Francisco. You got to be on one of the major coastal towns in San Diego, even.
I think we just call it the desert, right?
Right. So
it would appear that all of my favorite destinations are in the desert. Phoenix, Vegas, Sedona. Oh my God, dude. Oh my God. Sedona is incredible.
Well, have you looked at housing prices in Sedona before you get excited?
I did. Like I was like, dude, I was sitting there on my phone. I was like, oh, okay. So it's going to cost me a few extra coins.
Zeros.
Oh yeah. A few extra commas, but oh my God, it was incredible, dude. It was insane. It was insane, man.
Well, I'm glad you're having fun out west. I mean, because I've been like championing the West for like over a decade, probably 15 years, and people are like, "What's in Denver? What's in Rapid City? Oh, who wants to go to?
I don't
Salt
want to
Lake?
go to Phoenix. It ain't nothing but cactuses. All
Hey,
right,
cactuses.
stay on out there. Stay
Remember
out there in Boston.
Snoopy's brother Spike?
Yes,
and he lived in a cactus in Needles, California.
that's right. The disheveled version of Snoopy.
Right, he had a little mustache.
Yes. The 1960s mustache with the it's almost like you expected. It's like you expected Snoopy's brother. And it's funny because every time I think of the Vietnam War in a positive sense, I think of the 21-year-old with the American flag bandana. He's got the cigarette. He's got his M16. He's probably listening to the Doors. That's who I imagine Snoopy's brother being, right? He's like, okay, that guy looks like he's from the Vietnam War. It's funny.
Yeah, but Spike had a hat. Now he had like that green flak jacket. That would maybe, but it was just like they drew him real thin. And like he'd go visit Snoopy and he'd get out of his cactus. There'd be a door on the cactus. He'd lock the door and he'd like go on a bus.
Totally the opposite of Snoopy, man. Totally the opposite of Snoopy.
I had you on for a reason here. What did I
forgot.
I wanted to basically, you're a Jew. Everybody hates you. That's kind of basically what it boils down to.
Yeah. Everybody hates me.
And I wanted to get on this because for multiple reasons. But one, I've known you for 4 or 5 years now.
Yeah, 5 years now. Yeah.
We've had dealings, and it frankly pisses me off. And you're always going to have trolls and commenters and things like that.
Sure.
And I find it unfair. I mean, it's one thing, but man, you got a cacophony of haters out there.
Yeah.
And I just want to like have you on the show and not to necessarily defend you or anything like that, but just like, hey, I've known this guy. You and I have had business dealings.
Oh yeah.
And just I've said it before on a different podcast, but you have been nothing but kind and professional to me. And it kind of irks me a little bit where it's like, oh my God, I can't believe Donovan Sharpe, XYZ. I'm like, well, what the fuck did the guy do? Because frankly, you took the time out of your day to show me how to do the teachable thing.
Yeah.
You held my hand. I'm like, what the fuck is this about? Like, oh no, Claire, you got to get on it. And then we would just, and I was just like, yeah, okay. Out of all the people that I've known and worked with, you're the most professional, polite, civil, and kind guy I've ever ran into. I want to kind of throw it back a little bit like, hey, fuck you guys, and I don't really care about the trolls or anything like that.
Sure.
But before the seminar, and certainly we can promote that as well. I just want to have you on the show. Like, whoever might have a doubt about Donovan Sharpe, no, I vouch for him. He's a good guy. And so why do you, we could even say me, but even Myron, I mean, why is there a lightning rod aspect to you guys?
I think part of the reason is, and listen, I'm not going to be disingenuous and say that I don't deserve a little bit of the heat that I get. And it's for different reasons, because when I first started off doing podcasts, I was very brash. I was a flamethrower.
As opposed to now?
Well, yeah. Well, dude, trust me, man. Like, you remember the early shows, like episode 100 through 300? I was crazy. I was wide open. And so Myron Gaines is me 4 years ago, right? Myron Gaines, he's the bomb thrower. He's out there slaying Miami girls. When I started my podcast, I was right at the end of my Vegas player days. And so I had all this, piss and vinegar in me. I was, spewing stuff all over the place. But I think I guess my personality rubs a lot of people the wrong way. Because I don't really tolerate foolishness that well. Like sometimes, like, you can tell when someone asks you a question that they're not asking you the question in good faith. They're making a statement by asking a question. Donovan, how long have you been married to a senior citizen, right? They'll ask you stuff like that. And I don't really tolerate that. I never really have, not even now. But I don't know. I mean, I can't really pinpoint the reason why I have I seem to have a lot of haters. But I will say this, man, I think it helps us. Because if everybody likes you, then I suppose that could be a good thing. If everybody dislikes you, that could probably be an even better thing. But I think if you're a polarizing figure, I guess that's sort of good for the community. But in terms of the reason why, and I used to get hate from women all the time.
But yeah, that's standard par for the course,
yeah,
right? Yeah.
And that's what I thought. What I did not predict was that most of my haters now are other men. And so, this is sort of, even though this has been the case for about a year and a half, it is kind of new because before I used to look in my chat, and if I saw like a Britney 205 or a, fit lady, blah, 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 I knew who to focus on. But now when I see somebody become a member of my chat, or if I get an email or whatever the case may be, and I've got screeners for that, so I don't see any of that stuff. Now my screeners are actually looking for men. And I think that that's probably indicative of the culture. We're especially a lot of men. You watch TV shows, dating shows, men turn on each other on the regular. I'm breaking down a TV show called what is it, Temptation Island, and a new guy joined the crew. And the guys are supposed to be all, bro, hey, what's going on, man? We're here for the same reasons. And they're like, oh, who are you? Blah blah blah. I was like, what? Like, now we're acting like catty females. The truth is, Aaron, the reason why I have a lot of haters is because most people in this country are raised by women and women alone. And when you are raised by a woman, primarily, you take on feminine, you take on feminine personality traits. I among them. The reason, well, listen, I have a temper problem. That's my own problem. But the reason, one of the, I guess, minor reasons why I am sometimes quick to emotion is because I was raised primarily by a woman. I didn't have a father to teach me emotional mastery. And so when I'm on the air and I'm all emotional and yelling and all this, that rubs people the wrong way, and for a very good reason. But by the same token, those people are also responding emotionally. So I think it's I think the whole haters or whatever, and I don't want to use the cliche, what doesn't kill me makes me stronger. I don't really believe that because of, listen, if somebody fires 5 bullets into your center body mass,
you're going to have a good day. Yeah.
You're going to have a good day. Even if you survive that, you're probably going to be eaten out of a straw for a little while. But I think at this point, taking on, because this is the most heat I've ever had, ever.
Yeah.
And when I come out of this, and I've got all sorts of contingency plans, when I come out of this, I think it really is going to sort of strengthen the brand. Because I've taken some pretty substantial shots from some big content creators, and I'm sticking around, man. And so I think, look, I don't know why people tend to not like me, and I guess I kind of have sort of a brash, unapologetic personality. Not something to be proud of, but I'm not really ashamed of it either. It is what it is. If people want to get on board, that's fine. But I think if people really got to know me, if they shook my hand and looked me in the eye, I am definitely the same person. But by the same token, like, if I know we're on the same team, like, we're on the same team, like, I got you. It's all good. I'm not going to be going at people just to be going at people.
Right. And that's what confuses me, because I've been following your content for quite some time. We've known each other. And I'm kind of like, well, why him? Like, because if we're to use a measure, like, everybody gets a certain amount of hate. Let's say I was the industry standard, 1 Clary unit of hate. Right? You have like 4 Clary's units of hate. It's like, what the heck? And certainly you can be a braggadocio and a little bit eccentric and all that, but that's some of that, and even I'll admit a little bit of that is entertainment and value.
Of course.
But I'm like, well, does everyone have a hate boner for this guy? Like, what he had? Because you haven't done anything drastic. You're not advocating anything that has been outside of a red pill norm, maybe half a standard deviation to the right or the left. Sure. But I was just like, my God. And then a little bit of fresh and fit with Myron. Now, of course, when he said that women need to be held accountable and punished, it was like, okay, I can see why you got a little bit of a lightning strike there. But let me ask you this, because this is where you taught me about Teachable and everything like that. Yeah. And I dared to charge $499.
Oh my God, Aaron, what are we doing?
What? And I got my mature libertarian grown fucking ass adults who get it. Like, if he charges it, good for you. I hope. Yeah. Then you get these like rears, like how dare you charge money and maximize profits? It's like, fuck off. What? Captain Capitalism. What don't you understand about Captain Capitalism? Like, and so is it jealousy, or is it shock, or is it just these guys got nothing else going on? And then once you dare charge something like that, or you can make a price that puts you up on a higher lightning pole?
Well, there are a couple of reasons. And the first reason is, have you ever read the book Outliers, Malcolm Gladwell, The Story of Success? Very, 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 very good book.
Okay, I'm gonna
Dude, if I start talking about it, we'll be here until tomorrow. But there's a section in the chapter. Okay, there's a section in the chapter called the Power Distance Index. And the way it starts is that there was a period of time, I think back in the 1980s, where Japan Airlines had a series of plane crashes in a very short period of time. What they figured out was that the guy flying the jet, the Boeing 747, had more hours in the air than the co-pilot. So if the co-pilot were to say, hey, you might want to X, Y, and Z, the pilot, who has more hours, more stars on his jacket, would say, relax, rookie, I got this. So what they did is they switched the pilots. The guy who actually flew the plane was the one who was the least experienced, and the guy who was the co-pilot was the most experienced. That way, when the most experienced guy says, hey, you might want to X, Y, Z, the actual pilot is like, okay, this guy has more man hours than I do, so I better make these adjustments. And so their plane crash problem disappeared. So, and I'll give you an example. The power distance index in the United States is very, 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 very short. In other words, it's a very short distance between us and those in power. If you want to get a hold of Joe Biden, send him a tweet. Our celebrities, our sports stars, our politicians, it is so easy to access them now. The power distance index is very, 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 very short. The power distance index in other countries like, I don't know, Cuba, or the country with the yellow star and the red flag, which is the most populous country in the world, very, very big power distance index. So when edicts come down from Cuba or ENIC, whatever, I'm trying to say that backwards, people sort of respect that big power distance index. We as people, we don't revere our professional athlete. Well, we do, but we're not as impressed with them as we once were, because we now see behind the scenes the power distance index is very small. So when you have content creators like ourselves, the power distance index it's almost
nothing. It's not there. It's just you and me.
Right.
Yeah, right.
We do a live stream. These guys have instant access to it right now via the chat. The smaller the power distance index, I don't want to use the word entitled, and I don't want to use the word disrespectful, but the smaller the power distance index, the more, I don't know what the word I'm looking for is, but if our audience didn't have the kind of access they did to us, if our audience, because we have people in our audience that also have YouTube channels and all this other kind of stuff, just like us. Yeah. And so a lot of people maybe think, well, and it's subconscious. So they're like, well, Donovan has a YouTube channel and I have a YouTube channel. So Donovan and I are, you know what I mean? And so when we come out and we charge $600, $700, $800 for a course, that can sometimes rub people the wrong way, because, a lot of times they're like, well, wait a minute, I charge $600, $700. Why can't I get that? Right. That's the first reason. The second reason is that they want the information for free, and it's because of the power distance index. Both of the reasons sort of relate to one another. So, and I use this example all the time. Nobody ever goes at Gordon Ramsay for charging $50 for a cookbook, right? Nobody ever, oh my God, I can't believe that Gordon Ramsay is doing another television show about fixing up restaurants. He should fix up restaurants for free. And everyone around them be like, well, wait a minute, that's Gordon Ramsay. Like, he's a world-renowned chef. Of course he's going to make money off this, because this isn't free. Right. We are not Gordon Ramsay. You know what I mean? And people don't really, and I don't want to say people don't have respect for the work that goes into what we do. But if we expect Gordon Ramsay, Rachel Ray, Emeril Lagasse to charge for their products, then why can't we? And so anybody who complains about the price of something, it usually means that they want it for free, which also means that they kind of don't respect the work and the time that we put into it. Because no one is asking Gordon Ramsay for free products. No one is going at or tweeting at, how dare you charge $50 for a steak at Gordon Ramsay Steak? He's Gordon fucking Ramsay. That's what he does. I'm never going to be Gordon Ramsay, but I put in the hours, I put in the work. And as Richard Cooper says, nobody works for free.
And let's talk about that with Gordon Ramsay, because what I've found, if it's not one of, it's the most determining variables about who's legit and who's fake.
Yeah.
That you had to walk the walk. Now, Gordon Ramsay, you don't know if you know his background, but he was said to be a professional soccer player.
Yeah, soccer player, yeah.
And then he got injured, and he had to reinvent himself, and he became a chef. Now, that is a one, to be a professional athlete is perseverance to begin with, but then to reinvent yourself to the point that Ramsey did is why he's a celebrity, why he's very bad. But it's not like you and I just came out here whipping our dicks like, hey, listen to us. I mean, you have a back. Why don't you go through your back? I mean, you could tell as little or as much as you want, but you weren't born with a silver spoon up your ass.
No.
And you came, there was a journey, there was a trial.
Yeah. The reason why I can speak with such conviction is because I've lived all this stuff, right? I understand, and this is one of my many flaws, is I am a better judgment of female character than I am of male character. I'm almost undefeated in terms of saying, okay, that's the kind of woman I need to stay away from. That's the kind of woman I maybe want to invite in my life. At least lately. Now, when I first moved to Vegas, yeah, that was, swings and misses all over the place. But I don't, for whatever reason, and I think this might have to do with the fact that my father was just sort of a weak kind of whatever. I have made some egregious errors, miscalculated certain things. I've been burned by, like, I don't know, since I actually jumped on YouTube, I've been burned by more men than women. But the reason I can speak with such conviction and assuredness is because I've lived all this stuff. Like, I've heard the things that women have told me 100 different times. I can tell you what a woman's going to say, do, whatever, 5 steps ahead. And this is because I have failed over and over and over and over again. If we're going to go baseball here, my batting average with women is probably about .50, right? I'm forever 1 for 20. That's just the game. I have very, very thick skin in terms of, rejection of women. And dude, I've had my heart broken. I've been cheated on, Jesus Christ, God knows how many times, probably more times than I even realize. But that's the reason, is because I have failed over and over again. Don't get me wrong. You can certainly learn from winning, but nobody learns really. You don't really learn unless you begin to fail. And because I failed over and over and over again, I kind of realized, okay, well, women they're sort of abiding by a set of rules. They tell me certain things to make me think certain things, but then they end up doing something else. Ergo, the course Womanese, and now I've got the Womanese book out, and so. But to make a very long story short, I was raised as a military kid. My dad served 27 years in the military. He did, I think, the first 10 years in the Army, last 17 in the Air Force. Dude, we've lived everywhere. I was born in Philly. Then we went to North Carolina, then Georgia, then Washington, then Hawaii, then back to Washington, then to New Jersey, back to Washington, Hawaii again, Oklahoma, North Carolina. Then we lived everywhere. And that's why I'm a very social person, because I've been the new kid in class 100 times. So I'm not,
your entire life.
Yeah, right. And so I'm not shy around people I don't know. And so of course I did the college thing for a little while. And dude, I think I flunked out like 2.5 years and just didn't know what I wanted to do. So I got a bunch of sales jobs, bounced around, ended up getting married at 25 years old. I was married for a few years. The marriage it sucked, but yeah, it is what it is. So got divorced, actually kicked her out. My divorce cost me $12, so that's the best thing ever. Got
$12?
$12, dude.
You're now a new personal hero of millions of American men everywhere.
Listen, man, we didn't have any money or any kids.
Okay.
And so we go down to the courthouse, and dude, it was all planned and all that good stuff. And so the judge is like, okay, everybody knows my last name. Okay, Mr. Hopkins, you and Mrs. Hopkins are no longer going to be blah, blah, blah. Like, yeah, we're done. Okay. He stamped a stamp. We signed the papers. And so we go to the clerk's office, and she's like, okay, that'll be $12. And I'm like, do we split this down the middle? Dude, I think it was funny because I think she paid $5, and then I had like $7. I was like, okay, well, it was funny. This is weird.
It's great.
We paid $12 to get divorced. You know what we did? We went to Starbucks and had a sandwich and a coffee and talked about our new boyfriend. It was, dude, the most unbelievable thing ever. It was
greatest divorce story ever. That's great.
Well, my ex-wife and I actually text her every now and again just to see how she's doing. Yeah. My ex-wife and I, we didn't really hate each other. We just realized that, you know what? This is just not right. Yes, she treated me poorly, but I was not a very good husband either. I was fat. I was lazy. I was sort of passive aggressive.
You're 25. We were all idiots at 25 too. We didn't. Yeah.
Among us isn't right.
Yeah.
And so then that happened. So now at 31 years old, I am. I'm like, okay, I need new direction in my life. I'm newly single. Blah 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 blah. I start going to a small community college for paralegal school, and I meet this 19-year-old drop dead gorgeous blonde girl. I go through the ringer with her. That was, oh my God, that was the craziest.
Sounded like pain to begin with. Yes.
Oh my God, dude. I characterize her as the most beautiful disaster I have ever laid my eyes on. So I went through all of this, all kinds of stuff with her. To make a very long story short, she was 19. She had a 6-year-old kid, right? 6-year-old kid, which means she had a kid at 13 years old. Dad was in prison for statutory EPAR. The reason they didn't throw Jessica's Law at him is because she testified that she seduced him and the jury bought it. So instead of serving 25 years, he ended up serving, I think it was like 18 months. He gets out of prison. It's a love triangle. She ends up getting engaged to him. Wow. Dude, I'm doing pills.
You've earned your stripes.
Yeah, listen, show me the scars. And this is why I speak with such conviction, because I have been through this stuff. So I literally get kicked out of the state. I'm living with a couple of this girl's like druggy boyfriend and girlfriend. And I mean, dude, I'm probably 180 pounds. Like I was railed and I looked like I was really, really sick. So
you're a taller fella, just so people. Yeah, I mean, you're like 6'1", 6'2".
Well, yeah, I'm 6'2", 235 now. That's actually quite a bit.
So you're worse than back then, yeah.
Yeah, man. So it was New Year's Day. I'm watching the Rose Bowl, and their landlord comes in, the short Jamaican guy. He says, "You do not stay here. You don't live here. You're not on the lease." He said, "If you do not leave here 9 o'clock tomorrow, I call the sheriff. He puts you out." So, dude, I didn't have any money, so I called my brother. I'm like, "Yo." Told him the situation, and I was like, yo, like, help me out. Gives me a bus, sends me a bus ticket, $10 to eat on. So I take a bus from North Carolina down to Atlanta. I recovered very quickly. I got a really good job at a mattress company. This guy's paying me $600-700.
Yeah, this is the mattress area. Okay, yeah.
Go. And so, and I've actually owned a mattress business before. I had like a small chain. Dude, this is back in, oh my God, like 08, 09, somewhere around there. So the point is I knew I didn't want to live in Atlanta. At least in that area, Atlanta was terrible. And a buddy of mine that I had known in North Carolina while I was going to college, I was in touch with him. He hits me on Facebook. He's like, yo, like, where have you been? I was like, dude, it's the craziest thing. We're on the phone for 3 hours. I tell him this whole crazy story. He's like, dude, you got to come to Vegas. I was like, wait a minute. Isn't your sister out there? Like his sister Kim moved out there. I was like, dude, what could possibly be in Vegas?
What could be in Vegas?
Right. I'm like, no, whatever. So that was 3 months in. Then he kept calling me like every other week. He's like, dude, you got to come out here, man. Like you can stay at my place. And this is the day that changed my life. Well, one of the days. I'm sitting there, I got my little bulky laptop computer. I said, you know what? Let me just go to southwest.com just to see how much a one-way ticket is to Vegas. $84.
$80. I was going to say $80. Yep. Okay.
And I sat there and I looked at the screen. I was like, and I remember thinking to myself, am I really about to do this? When I felt myself starting to get excited, it was then that I knew that was probably the right thing to do. I clicked it, and on July 1st, 2010, I landed in the LBG, and my life has been forever changed.
Right. And that's where I want to, like, certainly a preponderance of stuff that you talk, but you weren't brought up in the cushy little suburbs.
No.
You didn't have mom and dad, you didn't major in sociology. I mean, you've worked, you supported yourself, you've been poor, and so that's the if there's one thing of authenticity, it's that cachet where someone, it's not sexy, but I worked in banking, and working in banking is not sexy. It's spreadsheets and data. I mean, it's, work security. I'm trying to think of different guys, like Rolo, for example, he did the booze and salesman, and
yes, he's very good at what he does, by the way.
Yeah. And what I'm trying to point out maybe to every younger person out there, like if there's like this avatar and there's no real person behind it, which I understand why people would want to remain anonymous on the internet. Right. But these people that are starting to spout bullshit and spew crap against people like you or me or Myron or anybody else, it's like, okay, well, I would have a lot more respect for them. I might even listen to the criticism if it's like, oh, wow, you were an officer in the military for 20 years.
Right.
Or you were an auditor with the IRS, or you were a cop, or there was some kind of profession. And what I think, just not to make this a black and white rule, but I think a pretty good rule to follow is like, well, did you make it on the internet because you made it on the internet, or did you make it beforehand and the internet happened to you? And now you're kind of like, you and me, like, let me ask you this. Did you fucking expect this to happen?
Oh my God, dude. I swear to God, man, every time I'm in a new city, and because Uber drivers, sometimes I just want them to shut up and just get me to where I want to be. But sometimes, I'm in a new city. I want to find out, like what's going on around the town.
Sure. What's going on?
At some point they always ask, so what do you do? And I'm like, oh my God, interesting story. And then I tell them all about it. And in the end, I'm just like, I still, even now, I can't believe that this is my life. I can't believe it, dude.
Right now, we got almost 300 people tuning in.
Oh, wow. Really?
But see, that's like, it doesn't register. Everyone's like, oh, you're the same way you are in person as you are on the internet. I'm like, yeah, because it doesn't seem real.
No,
like, right, we got super chats coming in here, which gentlemen and ladies, mostly gentlemen, obviously. I'm going to be doing a Miss Super Chat later on today because I want to focus on Donovan and have the interview. But like, I'm explaining it to my dad. And just so you know, I'm only like this much further in understanding what the fuck my job is compared to him. He's like, so how does this work again? People pay you money to answer their question. I'm like, yeah, it's like Dear Abby, but I'm on the internet and I curse.
There's a good way to explain it.
He's like, but then people give you more money in the chat room. I'm like, yeah. He's like, how the hell? I'm like, I don't know, Dad. I just, I don't know. It's gonna,
it's interesting. And listen, I never ever throw shade at what seems like overnight success, because it is what it is, man. A lot like Alpha Male Strategies, for example. A lot of his detractors like to say, oh, AMS was just an overnight sensation. He got lucky. No, AMS was positioned at the right time and he was prepared for the opportunity, and he seized the moment and took advantage of it. Right. But just like you said, listen, I have owned, this is now, I guess we can call this a business. This is now my third successful business. Like I said before, I owned a mattress shop. I actually turned that into a mattress chain. So I had 2 locations, ended up selling that. Dude, made a boatload of money. And then, of course, I had a bunch of not real estate. I had a bunch of single family dwellings out in Vegas that I was renting out to people. And on my own little system, I was charging a hell of a lot for rent, but I didn't do credit checks. I sort of ran it like a rent-a-center. I don't want to get too far into it, but that's kind of how I did it. And I never had a shortage of clients. So I ran that business successfully. I don't know what I was thinking. And I saw somebody for whatever reason, I can't really see the chat anymore, but somebody in the chat a little earlier asked me if I had been in touch with Roosh lately. And I was texting him. I was texting him 3 or 4 days ago because I text him quite a lot. Sometimes we'll talk.
Cool. That's a good contact.
Yeah, he was just reaching out to me, be like, "Hey, listen, I see, there's a lot of stuff going on. I just want to let you know, like, I got your back. Hope." And I'm like, "All right, appreciate that. That's cool." But Roosh, when I started reading Return of Kings, because you and I were columnists there right at the same time. He reached out to me, or I reached out to him and said, "Hey, listen, I've got an article I'd like to submit." I submitted my Rocky article. The rest is history. All I wanted to do was just sort of tell my stories. I had a bunch of stories to tell. One thing leads to another. 80 articles into Return of Kings, and then there's another website that I wrote for. I wrote 120 articles for them. The guy that I wrote for on the other side said, "Hey man, you should start a YouTube channel," because this was just on. I was just on
like, YouTube. Who's gonna watch that?
This is funny. This is how ignorant I was. I was like, YouTube, like, oh, I thought YouTube was for cat videos and bakery tricks, and that's where it started, man. And I don't know what I expected. I didn't expect to do this for a living. But I figured out rather quickly that I'm pretty damn good on the air, and I'm laser focused. I don't like to remain stagnant. I made steady upgrades in my studios, and obviously I'm not really in my studio now, but it was sort of a natural progression of things. And I said all that to say this, because this goes to what you said earlier. A lot of people, there are a faction of people that like to throw shade because, oh, you just got lucky on the internet. Okay, yeah, listen, I'm not going to sit here and say that luck didn't have anything to do with it, but part of the reasons that I'm successful is because I do know what I'm talking about. and I'm extremely disciplined. Like, I'm not the guy who's just gonna, because there are a lot of people who are doing the same thing they did 5 years ago and wonder why they have stagnated.
Right.
So, for example, right now, my channel is kind of stagnated, and there are a lot of reasons for that. I haven't really consistently been live streaming. I've been doing a lot of traveling, trying to get
with other stuff too. Yeah,
right. But what's clear to me, which is what's been clear to me 4 or 5 other times, is that it's time to change up. I'm not going to change my message. I just need to change up the delivery. And so I'm working on some things behind the scenes to sort of change things up. You have to always be evolving. The most successful people at this are guys that are always sort of changing, improving. As far as the hate is concerned, and I do know why I have a what seems to be a lot more haters than most, and I'm not going to be the guy, oh, hate me, love me, but not that guy. It's because I used to go at MGTOWs a lot. And MGTOWs have, listen, man, I completely understand, their plight or whatever, but for a long time, I used to talk shit about MGTOWs an awful lot. And so that's probably the reason it appears that I have more haters, I suppose, than most. But here's another reason. It's because I'm also doing a conference, right? So with higher profile events is going to come a little bit more scrutiny. So it is.
Right. No, the more you put yourself out there, the more flack you're going to catch. I get that. But I just so everybody understands, it's like, yeah, there's a little bit of luck there, but I won't lie and say there's not this inauthenticity. Like you and I would put out, I'm answering consulting questions practically every day. I did fucking 11 yesterday, just tired and beat. There's a fair amount of work that goes into it. But if you and I were born 30 years ago, we wouldn't have had this internet thing. We'd be dead by this time.
We probably would.
And that's another thing in defense of all the guys that you see. It just happened. It's like, well, we happen to be in California. They found gold here. And some people have the character and personality for it, and they capitalize on it. And that's where the difference is. Like, do you capitalize? For example, Jack Napier, he's got hustle. He capitalizes on it.
Talked that kid before.
Yeah. Or Troy Francis. So I think, of course, it's probably because he has a British accent, and that's probably why he gets plus 20 on the Dungeons and Dragons die roll. But there is this element, and I'll be the first to be like, we had no idea. No clue. It wasn't like I woke up, I'm like, I'm going to become this internet dick and people are going to give me money. And so I understand there is some criticism there, but at the same time, like, it's like, well, we were at the right place at the right time. And every once in a while, the blind squirrel does find an acorn, and thank God it did, because I'm enjoying this acorn.
I think people, and listen, this is going to come off a little bit maybe rude and condescending, and I could not give less of a shit at this point. Some people just don't want to admit that certain people are just better at this than they are. Because I'll tell you this, man, there are content creators, right? There are content creators who used to be, there are several big time content creators who used to be guys in my chat, right? Guess what? They figured it out. They have, like, Myron Gaines. Myron Gaines is the dude. He is the perfect example. That guy used to be in my chat. I've known Myron now for 3 years. He used to call into my show every once in a while. He used to be in my chat all the time. Guess what? He's going to pass me in subscribers probably by the end of next week.
Because the man's got hustle.
There you go, man. Yeah. The guy works hard. He has figured out a way. This dude is the only guy who has figured out a way to show you the RP truth right there in living color. He has girls come in the studio and verify what we've been talking about for the last decade plus. People like to see that because now they're like, oh, wait a minute. I guess these guys are right about
it ain't BS. We weren't sticking it. It's
and listen, dude, I love that kid. That dude, Myron is awesome. He's definitely going places.
I got a free sweater from him. I stole it.
I was gonna say, I saw your fresh and fit.
It's a great sweater. If you can steal one from him, get it out of there. Say, hey, I'm a little chilly. You got a sweater? And I'll give it. And you just walk out with it. It's great.
I think I've got like 4 of them. I've got like 4 hoodies and a sweatshirt. But every time 4 hoodies and like a couple of t-shirts. But there are, and I know of content creators who are, I don't want to say jealous, but they sort of hate on these huge content creators because, well, they stole what I said, or I said that 3 years ago. Hey, listen, man, that's the game. If somebody figures out how to do what you do better and ends up becoming bigger than you, you can't really hate on that. You know what I mean?
Okay, let me advance that psychology.
Okay.
Wouldn't you celebrate it? Like, I do not envy Fresh and Fit for having a hell of a podcast and frankly having a larger channel than I do. I do not envy Rich Cooper, whose book I'll promote it right here, right now, if I can find it. Where'd it go?
Aaron's
Here
got
it
like a
is.
library of books.
I do. It's a stack of letters like as tall as the IDS tower. The Unplugged Alpha. This is a great book. Now, Richard and I go back, and sling arrows, of course, across the border. But I'm happy he has sales that are basically 5 times as much as mine. And I've never understood that jealousy where it's like, Donovan, if you were to write a book and it became a #1 bestseller, I wouldn't be like, Donovan wrote this book. I'd be like, dude, you wrote it. It's like the #1 bestseller. It's like awesome.
Man.
So I don't understand.
I don't know, man. I tried, and I try to understand. And I've tried to, I don't want to say empathize, but I've really I've tried to put myself in other people's shoes. And this doesn't make me any better or worse than anyone. I think I think different people have different motivations, but I've never felt the need to go into someone's chat or call into someone's show or go onto someone's social media to troll them. You have a big nose and your content sucks and this and that. Like, I've never felt the need to do that. Part of the reason is because I just don't have the time. And a lot of people say that facetiously. Well, I don't have time for that, as if it's just beneath them. No, I really don't have time.
You don't have time. Yeah, no, I know.
Right.
Yeah,
I'm putting 18 plus hours a day. I sleep a half an hour a night. That's just kind of how that goes. But I think in the end, and I've actually learned this, I've actually had to mature on the air as time goes on, is you really do have to just kind of block out all the negative stuff, man. It's a cliche that is as old as time itself, but you really have to separate yourself. Like I have multiple layers of insulation on my email and on my social media. So before I check my social media, I actually pay a couple of guys to go in, sweep my social media. I've deactivated a lot of the keywords. If anybody says anything bad about me or my girlfriend, just get that out of here. I don't need to see it. And then well, you're weak for doing that. You need to face the fire. So I'm weak because I purposely avoid negativity. And again,
you don't have the time. That's it. I mean, it's. I don't think people understand, like, because I probably am going to assume correctly, but back during the Great Recession, you and I probably had a lot of time in 2008, 2009. We probably had a fair. Now it's like there is no time. I mean, and it's like, no, I really do not have, like, I've even tried to get off social media. Like, I haven't really posted much on Facebook. I don't really take a look much at Twitter. I like tweet something out, but that's about it. And it's not that like, oh, you're a coward. Like, I'm not going to read through and sift through the comments section when there's 300 comments on a video where, 0.5% are, you can't really, you grifter, It's like, grifter, I don't have time.
Grifter is one of those. Check this out. Grifter is such an overused term. Listen, I know, correct me if I'm wrong, but a grifter, as far as I'm concerned, I think there's a movie about it. I think Melanie Griffith was in that. A grifter, I think, is someone who's always on to the next hustle. So whatever the next big thing is, they sort of move to that, right? Mm-hmm. Is that what that is?
You got me. I've never heard of the term until like 6 months ago when I started like charging money for my fucking time, and then people got sand in their vaginas. That's I'm a grifter.
So the definition of grifter. Oh, here it is. Oh, right. Wow. Okay. A grifter. A person who engages in petty or small scale swindling. Oh, okay. Well,
we're swindlers.
We're swindlers.
We here's our price. Here's the product. We're not putting a gun to your head, and we're swindling people out of money. Is that what it is?
I suppose so. I always thought, and this I guess shows how ignorant I am of these sorts of terms. I thought that grifter meant going from hustle to hustle because, dude, I've been in the red pill community for Jesus Christ, going on 7 years now. Yeah. But just because someone calls you a grifter doesn't mean you are, right?
No, I know.
Swindling people. Okay, listen, if that's what you think, that's what you think. But I mean, dude, I've sold. So I released my Book of Womanese, Volume 1, yesterday, and I have, at this point, I've sold 242 copies, $16 a piece, right? There is not one person who has written me and said, Donovan, this contains no good information. Nothing in this book has helped me. You have swindled me. You are a grifter. No, the only people calling us grifters are people who don't really know who we are. So I take that stuff with the grace.
I would imagine also, not to describe them, but as what you said before, like, we don't have time for this shit. But if you got time to come in with your 2 subscribers or create fake accounts. Like, wow, you got nothing going on in life, man. Like, you got to be a big loser with nothing going on, that this is how you decide to spend your day, is setting up some kind of account to make comments in the comment section, telling people like, oh, you're just a loser, can't. It's like, oh, wow. And it's more entertaining. It doesn't really annoy me like when I see these, but I just look at like, who are these people? Like, what if you have nothing better to do? Like, this is the best use of your time right now. And so I feel a little bit of pity, but it confuses me a little bit. Like, man, like, you have to have nothing going on if this is what you're doing today.
I used to try to understand. Why people do what it is that they do. But at this point now, I just don't. It's an exercise in futility, because what it comes down to, Aaron, is you're never going to win over the people you never liked in the first place. The vast majority of guys who are coming after me now, they never really liked me in the first place. They were just looking for a reason to pile on. All right, big deal. Now, I have had some longtime supporters who have turned coat on me. Those are the ones that bother me. Thankfully, it was really just sort of a handful. But everybody else who's coming out of the woodworks, they were never really on board in the first place. So, I mean, it's not like I didn't realize they were there. So, listen, man, all I'm trying to do, I want to bring men together. I want to create this conference. I want to put out good information, for men to be successful in life and relationships. Most people are going to be okay with it. There's some people who are not. There's nothing I can do about that. All I can control is what I do.
Well, I want to post this here. Caro sent $20, which is very charitable and kind. Yeah. Do you know him?
No, I've seen him in other chats.
He's a regular guy. Okay. Yeah. All right. But he had nothing to say, but since it was $20, I was like, boy, I better throw that up there.
Yes,
and I will get to the other ones. By
the way, I don't know if your audience knows this, but so I was in negotiations with our venue for the CME this week.
Yeah.
Ticket sales have gone a lot better than we had anticipated. A lot better. And because of that, we were going to run out of rooms, right? So we have 25 VIP tickets that were available. We have 4 left. Okay, so we sold 21 of 25 VIP tickets. Then we said, okay, well, after the VIP tickets, the first 50 attendees get their room included in their ticket. We only have, I think we have like 8 or 9 of those left. So ticket sales have been going very, very well. So I called up the venue. I said, listen, man, like, ticket sales are going really well. Is there any way you can block off another 50, maybe 75?
Really? That they're going that well?
Well, yeah. Well, the reason I wanted to do that is so I want everybody to be able to have their room included in their ticket. Mm-hmm. And so it took about 48 hours, but I got the word actually when I was on the air that, yes, listen, we can block out another 75 rooms for you. Then the very next day I said, we got another 25. So now we have enough rooms to include rooms in every single ticket. So when you purchase a ticket to the CME, listen, all you got to do is get here and feed yourself twice. Feed yourself lunch. Feed yourself lunch on Saturday. Feed yourself lunch on Sunday. Other than that, dude, I got a breakfast buffet on the house on Saturday and Sunday morning. Your room is it's a luxury hotel room. Your room is included in the ticket, and then of course you get all the extras, the mobile app, and all that other kind of stuff. So this is really sort of an all-inclusive type of deal, man. You're going to get a lot of value.
It is, yeah. No, I was impressed. Like, what came with it. You're not just paying tuition. I mean, you get some lodging, you get some food, and it's going to be good food too. Yeah. So.
Yes, really, really good food. Yeah.
Well, why don't you do that? Why don't you promote the seminar, the conference that's coming up? Tell people where to go. And then give everybody else. I mean, most people in my audience know who you are anyway, but anyone who's new, why don't you tell them, where to find you and everything like that?
Yeah. So the Conference of Masculine Excellence is pretty cut and dried, man. What we're going to focus on is helping guys to become, the complete masculine virgins of themselves. No, don't be a masculine virgin. Complete versions of themselves. And what we really wanted to do is, give me a second here. What we really wanted to do is we wanted to tackle things from all angles, because there have been a lot of, PUA conferences here. Here's how to get good with girls in 36 hours or less. Listen, that stuff definitely has its utility, But I don't know that you figured this out yet, Aaron, but girls have the internet too. Girls
They
know
do?
all pickup yeah, I'm told that they do. They know all the pickup techniques and all this other kind of stuff. So what we've sort of figured out, I guess men of a certain age, I guess guys are calling us boomers now, even though we're Gen Xers. Men of a certain age have figured out that yes, we definitely want women, we want their companionship, but they're not essential. They're not as essential to our lives as they once were. And so what we want to teach men is hey, listen, you can absolutely live the life you want to live. You can live a life of dominance. And if you do these things, not only will you be content, women are going to notice you more as a natural byproduct of your lifestyle. Yes, we will discuss relationships, in general, but what we're really focusing on is you. Just like Roll to my
individual,
make yourself your own mental point of origin. So, dude, we got a guy who's going to talk about style and image. Obviously, there's you. You're going to talk about the economic side,
finance. Yep.
Myron Gaines is going to discuss,
being gay,
diet and fitness,
homosexual life. Is that what he's talking
probably? We've got guys covering, dude, everything that encompasses masculinity as a whole is going to be covered. Yes, there will be discussions about women, but that's probably going to be the 7th or 8th topic down. What we really want to focus on is guys just saying, okay, listen, girls aren't going anywhere. We're men. We age better than women. We are good to go. We're good to go. Concentrate on yourself. This doesn't mean we're not here to say, oh, we don't want women. No, everybody wants women. You got a dick and a set of balls. We want it. We want women. But the more you focus on yourself, the more women focus on you. And I think that's the overall general.
And I like that angle. And that's why I was like, I'm very actually for the seminar on the its theme is like excellence, and it's absent women. I mean, it's like, no, we don't hate women. It's just like I think we've beaten that to death. I think, there will always be new epiphanies and observations, but where it's like, okay, they're not there. What do men have to do and achieve in their life? Let's make it count. So I like the fact that it's focusing exclusively on masculine excellence. How do you achieve an excellent life? And so I think which is where I have no problem promoting it, because it's like, okay, yeah, it's $2,000 for the VIP and what's $1,600 for the regular tickets.
Yeah, so the VIP ticket is $19.97, right. And the VIP ticket obviously comes with that you absolutely get your room for 2 nights. That's the breakfast buffet on Saturday. I'm going to feed you breakfast Saturday and Sunday morning. Then, of course, the Feast of Champions, which goes down on Saturday night. Also, as a VIP, you get to go to come to the VIP meet and greet. It's going to be up in Devon Ice Suite, where dude, it's a nice palatial suite. We're going to have, it's going to be catered. We're going to have charcuteries, all sorts of drinks. We're going to have a bartender there. Just sort of a time to kind of pick our brains, pick the speakers' brains, hang out, take pictures with pretty girls, things of that nature. Also, what the VIP ticket includes is you get the preferred seating in the actual general assembly area, and then of course with the Feast of Champions, you get to sit at the same table. I'm trying to figure out the table situation, unless I don't know if we're going to do long tables or rounded tables, but you will either get to sit at or near like the speaker's table, and I think we'll probably be dispersed everywhere as well. The standard ticket is $15.97, and the standard ticket now includes, instead of the first 50, now includes your room. So like I said, all you have to do is get here. And if you're a Vegas local, here's the thing. There are guys who live in Vegas or guys who live in LA who don't necessarily need a room. There's a Vegas local ticket for $11.97. So if you need a hotel room, we got you. If you don't, we'll give you
even discounted further. Okay, good.
Yeah. $11.97. And again, it's tremendous value because there are other conventions that charge a lot more that doesn't include the rooms.
Well, the price, I have absolutely no problem with the price because of 13 speakers.
Oh no, we have many more than that. Actually,
we have more than that. Okay, all right. So there's a lot of speakers.
Yeah, it is. It's a lot, dude.
And especially like if you were an old, men of a certain age like us boomers, okay, maybe I have it. But if you're a younger man or you didn't have, I mean, frankly, if you didn't have a dad or your dad wasn't around, you're going to not get a higher bang for your buck than this. I mean, they're just, I'm personally trying to make it so that people earn back the majority of their money through the financial advice that I give. And it's a different seminar coming up. But a lot of, I can't believe you charge. It's like, look, it's 2 days long, 2.5. You got all these experts coming in. If you implement even a quarter of the stuff that's going to be, you're gonna get your money back.
Well, not only that, a lot of guys. Well, I think here's what a lot of guys don't realize behind the scenes is I am covering the flights of all the speakers, right?
I got to talk to you before I forget. Can I just book my flight and I give you the bill? Okay. Because you fly me to Florida, then have me go to Philly, then have me go to Dallas, and then inevitably 3 days later, I get my ass to Vegas. Will you just let me buy my damn flight? And I'll give
I will let you buy your ticket, and I will comp you. Because Aaron doesn't. If I spend more than $300 on Aaron's ticket, I'm getting a phone call. Yeah, man. So, and I don't know that I guess it doesn't really matter. I'm paying each speaker a speaker's fee. I'm also paying a fee to George Bruno for being the master of ceremonies. So I'm paying speaker fees, and all of the speaker fees are into the 4 figures. Okay. I'm not insulted because I don't expect anyone to come and do this event for free. You guys' time is valuable to you. So not only am I flying you guys out on my dime, I'm also paying you speaker fees. Then you count the venue and the food. And in the end, I think I'm probably going to take a bath in. I didn't think it was going to be. I thought it was going to be a lot worse, but I'm going to take maybe like a $35,000, $40,000 loss on this first event because I didn't spare any expense, right? And this doesn't make me any better or worse than anybody else, but me as a man, if I want someone to come out cross country to speak at something I'm putting on for me, well, it would behoove me to not only compensate you for your time, but cover your travel and your lodging.
Well, and that's one, like when you flew me out to Philly that one time. I mean, and that's one thing where it's like I had to punch back at these assholes. Oh, Donovan Sharpe, blah, blah, blah. It's like, no, Donovan Sharpe fucking paid me. Dude, you know how often I fly first class? Never. I don't fly first class. I go Spirit Airlines. I'm like, I'm flying through the air at 600 miles an hour. This is great. But I mean, you have been nothing but honest. Nothing but honest and kind. Like you flew me first class. I'm like, ain't nobody ever done that for me before, including my parents. It's
just that I respect your time. Like, how long did it take you to acquire the knowledge that you have? A long
decades. Yeah, of course. Right.
And it's not like to say, well, he could be doing other things. No, as a man. It's to me, it just seems mathematically logical. If someone is going to come and speak at an event, then it's only fair that I take care of your travel, your lodging, and compensate you for your time. That's just the way I see it. By the same token, let's use economics. I can't make this for free. I can't charge nothing for this conference.
Absolutely right.
Well, and the price point is where it's at for a few reasons. Number one, so I don't take as big a loss as I would normally take. And number two, what this does is this filters out a lot of the riffraff. Because believe it or not, Aaron, there are forces out there that are trying to shut this thing down.
I can understand. Yes.
And here's another expense. I got to hire a private security company. I got Devin a personal bodyguard. I got myself a personal bodyguard. My bodyguard is not for me. My bodyguard is for anyone who tries anything on me because I'm a multiple time convicted felon in Clark County. If I catch a charge, I'm going away for a long time.
Be a while? Okay.
Not taking any chances there. Dude, I'm flying in the makeup girl. I'm flying in. I mean, so, again, and a lot of people would think, well, you don't have to be so. Well, listen, if you want a good conference, then this is what it costs.
This would be almost more of a work of art, is what you're saying. It's kind of like a not a magnum opus, but certainly one of your more bigger performances or pieces.
This is the biggest thing I've ever done for sure. And the next one is going to be I hope it's a little bit bigger because I hope to attract more speakers. But yeah, so listen, man, I know a lot of guys complain about the price, and we're actually doing a free ticket giveaway. I think we're doing a free ticket giveaway, I think next month. And another thing is that this whole event is completely self-funded. I paid for the event long before I even announced it. So, and I'm not sitting here trying to justify the price because I shouldn't really have to do that. But what it comes down to, Aaron, is that you get what you pay for. Okay, listen, I could have put on a $300 per ticket event, but it would have been a shitty event. And I don't want to put on a shitty event because that's not what men deserve. Men deserve to have a good event with good speakers that are really going to teach them something at a really nice venue with nice food and a nice environment.
I'm even wearing a tie. I mean, like I'm wearing a suit. I mean, my gosh. Right. Yeah.
Right, exactly. So I mean, listen, man, I'm not going to apologize for charging what I do because there are conferences all over the world that are, some $5,000-$10,000
way more. Yeah, easy.
I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that.
No. Well, anyway, all right. The main website is masculineexcellence.com. If you wanted, I'll put it in the chat room for my affiliate. It's masculineexcellence.com/Clary, not Aaron Clary, just Clary.
Yes.
Clarey. And then tell them your main website and I know with the conference, but if people want to find your channel and all that, why don't you?
Just look up, just go to donovansharpe.com. That's on the internet. Obviously, if you want to find my channel, just go to type in Donovan Sharpe. This is weird. I can't see. I wish I could have seen the public. Comments.
You don't see the chat room?
No, I don't actually. I see the private chat, but anything in the comments is.
Oh, I don't. Dude, I'm so like, and like I said, I got to do a Miss Super Chats video.
Okay.
Here
later. Yeah. Listen, we'll do this later. Do the super chats. That's fine. Yeah.
So
I just can't see anything in the.
Oh, that's all right.
But it's probably good that I don't see the chat. So.
Well, thanks for coming on the show, Donovan. I appreciate your time. I just want to let everybody get to know Donovan Sharpe a little bit more than what other people say on the internet and get to introduce to the guy that I know as a person who you are, even though you are from Philadelphia. That's it. Anything else before we end it?
Yeah, man. I guess I guess I'll sort of end it on this in terms of what you kind of brought me on for. If you like, there are a lot of guys who I don't like Donovan because he did XYZ. I don't like Donovan because people know that I have and I've always been transparent. I have an extensive criminal record. I've been convicted of 4 felonies. I've been arrested over 20 times and all this other kind of stuff. And a lot of people think that, somehow damages my credibility. Okay, that's fine. Then, listen, unfollow me, unsubscribe from my channel. What it comes down to, man, in terms of all the hate, it used to bug me. It really, really, really did. But what I've learned is that when you're the haters really only come out when you're doing it right. And if you now women do this all the time because they're women, that's just exactly what they do. But if you're the guy who just wants to sit there and type in the comments or, try to troll you on my channel or whatever the case may be, then, I got nothing for you. You really have to think about, okay, I am sitting here as a man talking shit about another man. You could be doing other things with your life, but you're on your phone or on your keyboard. Listen, man, we get guys like this all the time. And at some point, even those men are going to need content like ours. Because like us or not, Aaron, whatever you think about who we are as people, what we talk about here is the truth. We see it every day. Myron Gaines proves this every day on the Fresh and Fit channel. So for those of you, for people who don't like me for whatever, for whatever reason, it's all good, man. As far as I'm concerned, if you don't like my content, that's perfectly fine. But listen, man, if there's ever a point in your life where you're needing a little bit of guidance and you're kind of lost, maybe got played by another woman, that's when you come over to our side of the internet and hopefully we can help you out. Guys that hate us are probably guys who really don't know us. It's just the same as guys who genuinely hate women, simply don't understand that.
No, there's a fair amount.
Interested in understanding who I really am, fine. If you're not, it is what it is. I'm not losing sleep. I'm not losing sleep.
If you want though, watch Donovan have 2 whiskey drinks and be like, whoa. I gotta tell that because it was funny. Because as
dude, I have a very low tolerance.
You were running yourself ragged. We did the thing, and Donovan's like, "Oh, let me take you out to dinner." I'm like, "This is great. We're gonna walk." You're like, "We're not gonna walk. Well, I'll drive." So we hop in his car and we drive with him and Devin. And then he has one drink, and they weren't that big. And then he had another drink, and then he's just like, "Whoa!" And I'm like, "Donovan, you all right?" Like, yeah, dude, I think I'm going to get an Uber. I'm like, yeah,
I was nice that night. That was a lot of fun, man. That was a lot of fun.
All right. Well, thanks for everybody tuning in. Check out Donovan Sharpe with an E at the end like they do in Australia.
Yes.
And
right.
check out masculineexcellence.com if you want more information about that seminar. And I guess I'll see you in Vegas in
Yeah, man.
June.
We'll see you in Vegas, man. Appreciate it.
All right.